help me with my notes. If anyone wants to scoot closer, that'd be just fine. Hello to you all, and welcome to our topping off ceremony for the Pelham Memorial School renovations and upgrade project. My name's Chip McGee, and I have the honor and great pleasure of serving as the superintendent of schools for the Pelham School District. Our program tonight is short, but it packs a good punch. To start with, we're going to have Barrett Salta of Bonnet Page and Stone, that's our general contractor on the project, is going to share a little bit about the history of topping off, and if you haven't noticed already, take note of the tree at the top of the tower here. Then 8th grader Abigail King is going to share her thoughts on the project. She serves on the building committee. She's going to share a couple of the most exciting parts and a couple of the challenges that we face. Then I'm going to share some thoughts myself about the significance of reaching this milestone in the project. And then finally, when that is all complete, Barrett is going to lead a tour of the construction site for anyone who wants to have a peek. And I hope a lot of you go through. If you are going to go through, there's 2 rules. The first, you need to be wearing closed-toed shoes. The second, if you're under 18, you need to have a parent or guardian with you. The tour is definitely going to be the best part. So before I ask Barrett to come up, I want to recognize some of our community leaders who are able to be with us here today. Community leadership in Pelham and in New Hampshire is one of the key ingredients to making projects like this possible. I first want to thank Pelham PD. We've got Captain Stephen Toome here. We've got Officer, I'm not sure about the rank, Sergeant Barbado, and our Police Chief, Ann Perriello. Let's give him a round of applause. I also want to thank the selectmen are here, Heather Corbett and Charlene Tarkisian. I'm going to thank also the entire building committee because it is remarkable to have those volunteers helping us through the process of getting this building built. So Stacy Mahakian, our principal, Troy Brissett from the school board, Kristen Corey, community member, Jason Croto from the budget committee, John Gould, a community member, Darlene Greenwood on the school board, Jen Grover, staff member, Abby King, I mentioned before, student, Patty LaMontagne, staff member, Deb Mahoney, our business administrator, Brian Sands, facilities director, Debbie Ryan, community member, David Hooley, community member, and Anna Mazzarello, who's the secretary and also the one that makes sure all of these things happen so well. So let's give that group a round of applause. Next, I want to recognize the Pelham School Board. I realize this is my 20th year in school administration. It's my 29th year in public education, and this board is what makes this great work possible. I want to thank in particular our chair, Megan Larson, who I think I saw here. Megan. Troy and Darlene, I've already mentioned, and I'm going to thank Tom Geller and Dave Wilkerson as well. So finally, I want to recognize some statewide leaders who support our beloved public schools in Pelham. Congresswoman Annie Custer couldn't attend, but she did send a letter of support. Those of you who don't know, our New Hampshire's Commissioner of Education, Frank Edelblut, is able to be here. Thank you, Frank, for coming. And our own state senator, Chuck Morse, I believe, is here as well, or soon to be here on his way. Just pulling in. All right. So thank you all for being here. And now, on with the show. Barrett, would you come up and explain to us what topping off means? Are you going to use that thing?
You gave it to me. We'll put that away. Thank you, Chip. So thank you for coming out. Barrett Salter, Bonnet Page and Stone, absolutely thrilled to be here. always honored. This is our second project in this community, and the turnout never ceases to amaze me in this community. We do topping ceremonials quite often, and this exceeds all turnout we've ever seen. So thank you all for coming out. Really appreciate it. So topping out ceremony. Typically, in North America and Europe today, this is a symbol that the project has reached its highest point. And that it's a sign that the major portion of steel or erection is done, and we start closing in the building and working on the goal to finishes and completion. Normally, you cut down an evergreen and put it at the top of the building. That did not fly in this community, and it was highly recommended that we came up with a different idea. So we purchased a live evergreen, and it will be up there until tomorrow, at which time it will come down and it will be planted somewhere at the school's wish for hopefully tales to be told 50 years from now. But the history of this is quite interesting. Short, I won't bore you with the details, but the history of this traces back to Scandinavia, roughly 700 AD. And the purpose of it was to pacify the spirits that were disturbed in the forest when the trees came down to permit a building like this to go up. And we honor that history. We continue to honor that history, and we believe not doing it would create bad karma. So we continue doing that. And once again, I want to thank you for having us out here. I really appreciate all of you showing up. Thank you. And looking forward to the tour.
So what Barrett didn't tell you is that after we rejected a cut tree, the second idea was a fake tree, and like a fake Christmas tree. And he rejected that one. He said, no, well, we're going to honor the tradition and have a real pine up there. So thank you very much. Abby, would you mind coming up here and sharing your thoughts?
Good evening. My name is Abigail King. I will be entering the 8th grade here at Pelham Middle School. I have been the student representative of the middle school building committee since the start of the renovation project. Along with that, I am also a member of the school's leadership team and a 3-season athlete for PMS. It has been interesting and exciting to not only be part of this new beginning, but to also be able to see the daily progress by being in this building as I attend school. I am most excited for the addition of the new gymnasium. Although the new gymnasium will not be complete by the time I move on to high school, I am happy to know that future students at PMS will have a large updated space for both staff and students to use. It will have a regulation-sized basketball court where you can actually take a 3-point shot from the corner and not be out of bounds if your shoe size is larger than 10. I am also excited for the new courses that are now offered at PMS. Courses such as Family and Consumer Science and STEAM will help develop us into a well-rounded, productive individuals by teaching us the skills such as leadership, decision-making, problem-solving, goal-setting, and self-care. Although there are many great changes happening here at PMS, change also brings challenges. As you can see, there's a lot of construction happening here. One of the challenges I face while in school is being able to block out any noise from the construction vehicles and loud machinery being used by the workers. Staying focused on my teachers and classwork helps me to block out any distractions and noises outside of the building. Another challenge will be not having a gymnasium this year. This will have an effect on all students. Physical education class will be moved outside when weather is nice. However, on rainy, cold, or snowy days, PE class will have to be held in a classroom. Not having a gymnasium will also have an effect on after-school indoor sports teams. These teams will have to find somewhere else to hold practices and games. The renovation of Pelham Memorial School into Pelham Middle School will have a positive impact on our community here in Pelham for many years to come. I'm honored and proud to have been selected to represent my fellow students through this major renovation project. I look forward to coming back next year to visit the school to see the amazing new classrooms and the awesome gymnasium. I would like to thank our superintendent, Dr. McGee, school board members, and fellow members of the building committee for inviting me to serve on this board with you. Being a member of this committee has helped me improve my leadership skills, communication skills, and speaking at public events. With that being said, what matters most to me is knowing that I've helped my community and the future students of Pelham Middle School get the best education in the best building around.
She's good, huh? Yeah. All right. Now, I'll be brief, I promise, but I need to celebrate this important milestone. The topping off ceremony, as Barrett said, represents safely completing the structural part of the project. It's a good sign of the future of the project and all those who use this fine institution when the renovation is complete. It hasn't been easy getting to this spot, but we made it. I'm going to share a couple thoughts. First, we have faced enormous challenges with the global supply chain for construction. I'm going to give you an example. We were told that the necessary electrical transformer was going to be delayed for 6 months from what we had planned. That was going to impact everything else about us being able to have the building ready for operation. Then, thanks to a lot of cajoling and support from community leaders, our electrical utility was able to find the transformer to help keep us on track. That solution allowed us to start chasing the next problems: roofing, materials, electrical switchgear, the list goes on. It's another instance of the Korean proverb, if you don't know it, beyond the mountains there are mountains, so we just keep climbing. We've also faced, as anyone here knows, enormous price increases for supplies. This is from plywood to steel to flooring, and yet we have stuck with the original promise to the citizens of Pelham to keep the project on budget at just under $32 million. We've done this through a lot of hard work. We've managed the budget carefully. Our contractors have made early and aggressive purchasing to lock in prices when they could. We used value engineering, that's what we call it, to identify places where we could reduce the cost of materials or labor without compromising quality. For example, the building's going to be clad with cementitious cement board, rather than metal panels. Another way we've been able to keep on budget is by accepting that the project's going to be complete now in June of 2024. Not this spring, next spring. We did all of that without reducing any educational program in the original plan. And through all of this, we've maintained our vision for an upgraded middle school. We have the structures in place for our gymnasium and a stage area, locker rooms, health class, general music, band, art, our family consumer science program that Abigail mentioned, and we also have science and technology, engineering, art, and math. Those programs actually start this year. They'll be on wheels, but we have the staff until the classrooms are complete. And our science towers, which you can see on the far side, we have 2 new science classrooms, labs for our 6th grade, 2 new for 7th grade, and 2 new for 8th grade, along with common instructional space and meeting space for all of our teams. We're going to have a long needed elevator right there, along with a wide staircase. Right in front of you, you can see our new admin and nurses space. This will be the main entrance and go right into what we're calling the town common, a wide and welcoming space for students as they enter our school every day. Next to the common is going to be our new library media center. Actually, pointed the wrong way for that one. It's going to be at the heart of the building and accessible to everybody. The gymnasium, it's going to be 3/4 size. It is going to be available, but on a limited basis because it was small before. Now it's 3/4 that size. So on those rainy days, they'll have a small gym available one last time this year, and then it's going to be transformed into our cafeteria for 23-24. You can see over on this side, when you start the tour, the new kitchen taking shape, and the facility is going to be air conditioned. Yes. Today's good, but there are days when that's important. The citizens and voters of Pelham are getting what they voted for: a beautiful, sensibly designed, cost-effective middle school for our students. I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight as we mark the completion of the structural portion of the project. And now, Barry, the best part, will you come up and explain how you're going to do the tour?
Thank you, Chip. So Chip will be doing all the open-toe inspections. So, no, kidding. Just watch as we go through. The site is very clean and organized, but there's trips. So just watch where you're walking. Be careful of your step. As we go through the new kitchen, there's a recessed area for the new freezers and coolers. So just mind your step a little bit. But we'll start by going around into the side entrance of the old gym. We'll go through there, but as Chip mentioned, this is your admin nurses suite in the main entrance. This is going to be absolutely stunning when it's done. And the new elevator and stair tower that will take care of the building. So with no further ado, let's go that way.
Oh, I hear you. Sound like good.